Ladies and gentlemen, we are now shifting our focus to Manipur, where Moreh is on the boil again. There is fresh violence that is being reported from there. It has claimed the lives of 2 state police personnel and a civilian. 2 police commandos have sustained injuries in this gunfight as well. Now, there was a heavy fire exchange at multiple locations in Moreh. It is learned that suspected militants hurled explosives and opened fire at a security post near the SBI branch in Moreh. Moreh, as you know, is about 110 kilometers away from state capital Imphal. It is also an old and important trading center on the India-Myanmar border. The civilian casualty was reported when security personnel tried to shift their injured colleagues to hospital for treatment. It is then when a group of reported tribals, including women, obstructed them and clashed with the forces, owing to which a tribal woman was killed and a few others were injured. Amidst the uneasiness in Moreh, the Manipur government has now sought help from the center. The state government has requested the Home Ministry to provide them with air assets for at least the next 7 days to meet any emergency requirements that may arise in the border town. There are some videos we have managed of the firing that took place in Moreh. Take a look. Go, Let me go across straight to Rami Desai, who's an author, also an expert on the Northeast, joining us for a very quick chat. Rami, can you help us understand why Moreh is particularly vulnerable? Because of late, all the incidents of violence that are coming out from the state of Manipur are coming from Moreh.
Very good question, Shreya. As you already mentioned, that Moreh is on the border. Moreh is our gateway to Southeast Asia. It is also central to our Act East policy. Moreh has always been a very important town. It's been the transit town. It's been a multicultural town. It's been the trade center. So therefore Moreh lies on this axis, which is very important for India's ambitions in the southeast of Asia, but also as a gateway for Manipur, for the locals to trade. Having said that, Moreh has borne the brunt of, the repercussions of this conflict that we've seen for the last year. And honestly, Shreya, this is a very complex situation. It doesn't have an easy answer. The situation itself is in layers. Therefore, any sort of analysis also has to be in layers. I've spent over 15 years in these areas. And let me say this, Shreya, it's hugely complicated. You see, we've seen this resurgence of conflict in Moreh, obviously because of the vested interests that lie in these areas that are not willing to allow this conflict to subside. Now, see, underground, UGs have also got involved in this conflict. We have porous borders. Myanmar is in a state of flux. There is this sort of renewed certain sections of the public. There is this renewed support that we've seen that is coming to them. There isn't intelligence coming from the locals. So, this is a very difficult situation for the forces, for our armed forces to bring under control, because all odds are against them. And what we've seen in the last few days is very, very sad. But what is surprising to me, Shreya, is that organizations that represent a part of the entire population, at least over 35% in Manipur, like the ITLF, have made statements like, we want the perpetrators to be released. You see, Shreya, this is a country that works with the rule of law, and we expect all citizens to abide from the rule of law and allow the forces to do their job, especially when Manipur as a state has suffered the most through this conflict. The people have suffered. So to turn dissent into anarchy, as far as I am concerned, is the most anti-national, detrimental thing you can do. Instead of helping the forces out, investigate these situations properly, you are holding them to ransom. So, Shreya, there isn't a short answer
Absolutely.
to this, unfortunately.
And if you speak to security forces, if you speak to security forces, especially the armed forces, they'll tell you that their hands are tied because of the fact that this is a very complicated situation. But here's the point, Rami. Point is, it's been 8 months. Point is, more than 210 people, Indian citizens, have been killed in this ethnic violence. Point is that Manipur right now is facing a situation where a Kuki cannot get into Methi territory and a Methi cannot get into Kuki territory. This is one country, and in this one country, you have a border with India on one side and Pakistan on one side. That's the situation we are seeing right now in Manipur. Add to that, it seems that the political class has aligned itself to one party. Because how else do I understand when the chief minister downwards, every time someone gets killed in Manipur, steps out and says, this is the doing of a foreign hand. These are foreign insurgents. This is Myanmar that is creating all the trouble. No, it's not Myanmar creating the trouble, maybe part of it. The problem is that politically you have failed to control what is, yes, a complex situation, but you've had 8 months.
Shreya, absolutely, your point is well taken. But, the fact also is, and, I don't represent a political party. For me, this is analysis. I have seen Manipur, in the last 5 years, come into its own. I've seen industry come back. I've seen young people come back because it enjoyed relative peace. So that also has to be taken into consideration. However, having said that, we cannot, if you were to analyze the situation, we cannot analyze it just from the lens of political will, because you understand, as representatives of a political dispensation, there are limitations because you cannot be heavy handed on your own citizens. If there are village defense forces that are attacking armed forces, they are our citizens. If there are locals that are not passing on intelligence, see, on the border, when you have populations that inhabit the border, they become very crucial to us, because that is through those populations that you get your intelligence information. It is through that population that if
Okay.
there are not just illegal immigrants but also vested parties that are coming in. We know recently, even in the situation in Myanmar, we know that certain really strategically located towns across the Manipur border have been taken into control by the militia in Myanmar. There are transnational ethnic ties, there are also, of course, the questions
Okay.
of arms and ammunition now that are being produced in homes. So there are RPGs, there are there is ammunition that is being produced, because it's become so easy to be able to go on the web and figure out how to
This is a
make all
big
of this.
challenge.
So this is a
Rami
complex
Desai,
situation. It's not that easy.
I
Of
understand
course,
the point you're making.
yeah, of course, we can hold the political
I understand the
dispensation.
point you're making. The situation, yeah,
Please go
I
on.
mean, but that's what they're elected for, right? And it's been 8 months. It's been 8 months. They've been elected for a purpose, and they have failed in their duty. That's how I looked at it. Look at it, because for 8 months, if violence continues, and you still have, every third day, security forces being killed, it is something that the government of India should be deeply, deeply worried about. We leave it there for the moment, Rami. This was a quick chat. Thank you very much. I have to shift my focus now to West Bengal, but thank you very much for joining us on what is a very important story.